Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man. At your services. How are you all? We're doing very well. Now, you know what it is today? It's International Strange Music Day. That's all I ever play is strange music. International Strange Music Day. You know, it's one of these strange days of like, every single day is an international day of something. International Kick a Dwarf Day. International Poker Cyclops in the Eye Day. International Put a Feather Up Your Bum Day. That's every day. But International Join the Nazi Party Day. Well, that went out a long time ago, that one. So I thought, International Strange Music Day. Gotta celebrate that. Because every time I've got a soundtrack playing, Mrs. Kilt-Man or the kids are going like, the Kilt kids, they're going like, oh, I don't like this, it's that strange. What is it? It's not even music. It's normally some kind of synthesized stuff. It's some kind of weird orchestral sounding dissonance, high strings, weird brass elements, all spooky, weird sci-fi horror type stuff. And I thought, okay, I can do a quick video on this. Because basically I've just got up and on the radio they said, it's International Strange Music Day. So I thought, yes, I'm on it. So I've done a quick playlist. You've just heard a little bleat there of what I'm about to talk about. And yeah, I thought, well, strange music, the theremin. Yeah, the theremin is the sound of 50s sci-fi. Not just 50s, but any kind of sci-fi. No, too obvious. No, I thought I'll go for the blaster beam. Yes. Now everyone's going to go, oh yeah, Craig Huxley invented the blaster beam. No, he didn't. He didn't. It was invented earlier in the 70s by someone else who I can't remember. I asked you to remind me who that was. You forgot again. You big dumb pumpkin head, you. And but then Craig Huxley took that idea, because the idea is it's basically a huge long beam of metal, steel, or in Huxley's case it was aluminium, and it's strung with highly tensed wires. Highly tensed wires, you know. They're all like, you know, convicts. What are you in for? I'm garroting shepherds. You know, they're all like angsty, tense. Well, you would be tense because you're about to be hit with hammers, with artillery shells, with lumps of metal, with, I don't know, all sorts of reverberous stuff, because underneath these strings on this massive long beam is going to be all guitar pickups, all metal microphones. So it's used for a huge, resonant, deep, resounding, reverberous bass note. Like that. The timing is magnificent. And it's from the late 70s into the 80s. And in fact, even fairly recently with 10 Cloverfield Lane, with Bear McCreary, who actually brought in the great Craig Huxley to perform for the soundtrack for 10 Cloverfield on the old blaster beam. So that was a nice element there. And I've got that bit as well, so I'll play that in a bit. But from the 70s, obviously, Craig Huxley became the go-to guy. James Horner would use him, Jerry Goldsmith would use him, Maurice Jarre would use him, and most famously, it would appear in Star Trek, the motion picture, to depict what you're hearing now is V'Ger, the cloud, rampaging through the cosmos, coming back to try and find its creator, which is on Earth, or should be on Earth, but is now long dead. And V'Ger is actually Voyager. Anyway, you know the story of Star Trek. Let's just get on to the music. And it definitely denotes something really, let's go on to, yeah, it should. It actually makes a sound like the flush on our toilet at the moment. I have no idea what's wrong with that, but it does. As you flush it, it just goes. I've had the lid off the cistern. I've looked at all the doings in there. Everything seems okay, and it seems to come from inside there, not from like the pipes. So, make your own blaster beam. Just fuck up your own flush system. But it does appear in many, many other movies as well, and not just sci-fi. James Horner would use it in, well, in Star Trek 2 as well, but in Humanoids from the Deep, or Monster, as some people know it. In fact, we'll play that now. So it can be used even in suspenseful sequences of nightmarish creatures on the prowl. And this track is called Night Prowlers. I had a drink before. What happened to it? International Strange Music Day. Cymbals, glacial strings, lots of weird dissonant timpani. Weird piano noodlings. And the anvil, the reverberous anvil, which he always uses, James Horner. But the blaster beam should come into effect soon. I mean, that isn't the blaster beam there, that boom, boom, boom. Like cymbals and weird gongs. I picked the wrong track. It's there. In the background. I mean, a lot of these scores, the blaster beam will be used a fair bit. I think that itself is celebrating International Strange Music Day on its own. The blaster beam was in the background there, you know, and sort of an underlay of reverberous metallic dread. But you'd also find it, Lawrence Rosenthal would use it in The Meteor, which was a rather disastrous movie. A movie about a disaster, but the film itself is a disaster. Has there been any good movies about meteors? Armageddon, Deep Impact? No. But this is Lawrence Rosenthal, and this is Craig Huxley. So I think the length of the beam, what it's made out of, how tense those wires are, and what you're hitting it with, and how often you're hitting it, and wherever the mics are, you can stretch that note out, that big bellicose bass note. It's got a to it, hasn't it? But it's got this sort of reverb and this tail out, this sort of fading, not an echo so much, but it just goes and vibrates off into the distance. Now in The Meteor, Lawrence Rosenthal uses this and other electronic sounds, whooshes and whizzes to depict the meteor. Oh, it's great, isn't it? He's got all whoosh, there it goes. It's like that thing that they're chasing in Quidditch. That's actually a really good example to use. I think, folks, we're going beyond, you know, just the blaster beam, because a lot of these tracks are incorporating a hell of a lot more weirdness into their strange music category, you know. Of course, John Barry would use it the same year as Star Trek the Motion Picture with The Black Hole. And this has a very sort of melancholy feel to it. I've discussed the film Black Hole and the soundtrack many times, and John Barry many times. But he would bring this in, and his score, even though it has an overture which is nicely bombastic and got a big fanfare in there and a march, you know, a big anthem, sci-fi heroics, the score predominantly is very dark, very brooding, very, very haunting, heavy. And obviously having, you know, the blaster beam in there as well to depict the vortex, the swirling vortex of the black hole itself, really does work. And just adds to that, like, that big wall of sound that John Barry always brought in. I mean, this is a slow version of his main theme. More dread-filled than heroic. Do we get the blaster beam again? Do we, John? A little bit more blaster beam, please. In the background, that was a massively receded blaster beam. So you hit it with hammers, hit it with mallets, hit it with lumps of metal. You get your spoons out, you know. You could strum it perhaps, but you get artillery casings, you know, big bloody shells fired from cannons, whacking on these things. This is hotter and heavier from the black hole as well. This is an action sequence. There's meteors again, are wreaking havoc on, you know, the Cygnus, the ghost ship floating on the edge of the vortex. A ghost crew of humanoids. And you've got Vincent battling Maximilian, the big red robot. And things are on fire, there's laser beams everywhere. And into this cacophony, you'll get the blaster beam, you know, making an appearance somewhere along the lines here. You can hear it in the background there. Barry uses it pretty well. So you've got this pursuit thing. This is Vincent and Maximilian fighting each other down the corridors. Vincent's huge. Vincent's tiny compared to Maximilian. But you can hear that blaster beam with those surging chords. Dun, 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 dun. The blaster beam's underneath that, adding this texture beneath it, giving it weight. Hence the title, Hotter and Heavier. You can't mistake that. That's there. So in other words, it can be used in far more subtle ways as well as just a big by a big evil cloud or a big vortex, a big meteor. It can just underlie an action sequence, adding weight, density to it. Another one. This is from Prophecy. Prophecy. Now, I'll make a prophecy for you right now. I'll be reviewing that film later on today. I know I've said that a few times now, but I will, I swear. It has been prophesized. And this is Lawrence Rosenman. Leonard Rosenman. And this is to depict the big mutant bear, 15 foot of razor sharp claws and big teeth and a really badly pissed off attitude, called Catardin. And every time he's on screen you'll get this shrieking strings, these tonal pyramids that Rosenman was famous for, and this big Craig Huxley blaster beam. I love doing these sort of videos if I get away with them, if they don't get blocked worldwide. Because I've got to compete with the music. I'm trying to let you hear the music, but I can't help talking about it at the same time. So it ends up like a big competition. This is the big lumbering beast. Often portrayed in the movie by the great Kevin Peter Hall, Predator. And filmmaker Tom McLaughlin as well, who learnt mime, and he's in this suit as well a couple of times. Every time the bear's on screen, wow. Another bit. See, Rosenland's music as well is always very strange. It's an acquired taste. He self-plagiarises a hell of a lot, but I like it. It's angular. It's angry. It's like but it works. But with the added impetus of that blaster beam. So I mean, as I say, even the likes of Bear McCreary, so many TV shows he scored, so many movies, and even he knew, you know, look, if you're into your soundtracks, your movie scores, your TV scores, you know the blaster beam. So I want to bring in Craig Huxley himself, which is why he brought him into 10 Cloverfield. We've had that. So let's go on to Maurice Jarre did a very strange, exotic, a lot of electronics, a lot of weird noises and sound effects for the film Dreamscape. Dreamscape, which actually foretold, prophecy again, Freddy Krueger. Because you have a guy who's the Snake Man, but at one point in the dreams, because this is a film where you can go into people's dreams and hopefully some people go in to kill other people, because if you die in your dream, you die in real life. So it's a big, massive government, you know, plot to kill the president. But you get Dennis Quaid, who's got the power to go into people's dreams. You employ him to go in and save the president. But he has to fight this assassin who's in there, who can form any shape, and he's mainly the Snake Man. But at one point, on a ghostly train, going through a nuclear holocaust, an apocalyptic vision, he becomes like a Freddy Krueger style thing with claws for his fingers. And, you know, because it's about dreams, and this came out before Nightmare on Elm Street. I've discussed it before, so I mean, this is old ground. I don't know if you can hear it, the seagulls are outside now as well. The blaster beam does make an appearance here. It's in it several times. It's just trying to find out whereabouts in a queue it might be, in a track. I mean, this is still strange music. So it's still celebrating International Strange Music Day. Who comes up with these things? Is there a committee? An international committee that just sit and come up with ideas? International Fart in a Biscuit Tin Day. Oh, that's a good one, yeah. Biscuit, anyone? Lift the lid. Whoa! I like that. That tone's almost like the wailing of a howling of a wolf. But it's not the blaster beam, is it? This is a bit daft, you know, jogging ahead through an 8-minute long track where you could easily just miss the boom moment. I just have my own. Oh, come on. It's just getting a bit helter-skelter, isn't it? There's all sorts of stuff in this. It's not a much loved score. The film's got quite a fan base, and I think the film's great. But the score kind of, people go, oh, I don't like it. There is some whimsical softness and romance in it as well, which really, I don't think sounds that good at all. But this spooky stuff is great. Let's just let it play. It's. We've done the blaster beam, now we're just on strange music. No. The blaster beam is unmistakable. Just deep synth notes is not it. Okay, this track is called The Snake Man. It's only short. It's got to be in here somewhere. Oh, what a tease you are, Marsha! That's a swirling synth. Pianos and synth keyboards. Little like percussive effects. Where's the fucking blaster beam? It's not going to be on it, is it? It is in the score. I know it is. This is the end of the track. Oh, hang on. No, this is Jerry Goldsmith again. But that is showing you what it sounds like. But we'll even do that again. I mean, I've never seen anyone actually play it. I presume you could probably pluck them as well, the strings, the wires. But hitting them, and then do you hit them on two ends at once, you know? Or do you hit a couple of times? How do you do it? And the length of some of these beams, they're huge. You have to run along it. Which like Thor, just throw the hammer, like Mjolnir. There is another nice piece in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's in Star Trek 2 as well. Let's just see if we can find it. Right in the opening. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't just throw these things together, you know. This is the Klingon battle. I love this. I have played it before, but wow. This is where the Klingons, 3 Klingon battle cruisers encounter V'Ger. And even this tribal weirdness with a weird sort of horn blowing and the castanets. But you've got the blaster beam for V'Ger. That's a weird Klingon trombone. It's called a trombone. And if it isn't, it should be. So when you first saw this movie, you were sitting there like, this was aliens you were looking at, these were Klingons, the bad guys. What's this big cloud thing? And this music was just like, whoa, so unsettling, but so catchy. And then counterpointed with that, wow. That was the blaster beam, the little build-up. You know, they're firing torpedoes at this thing, and it's spitting them back basically, and they're getting dematerialized. And I love the way the Klingons are all speaking in their language. They're going, as each ship disappears. It's a blaster beam battle scene. That's all angular, metallic, gleaming, alien, very alien. This is the best showcase for it, isn't it? This is where Starfleet are getting like weird communications. Funny how they can see inside the ship as the Klingons are getting vaporized. And they got fucking cameras everywhere. They've got cameras hidden in the big pasty folds on the Klingon fods. Forehead cam. I've got to sign off in a minute. I've got to go to work. James Horner in Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock would incorporate some of Goldsmith's Klingon theme. You're going to get some more blasty beams. So you must hit it and either record the echo for longer, or hit it and like hit it again, or drag something down the wires to get the effect. It's all manipulation of sound and how you use it, like the theremin. You don't even touch the field, you don't even touch the instrument itself. Your hands in the sound field manipulate the noise around the wire, the frame. It's the last Klingon ship getting destroyed now. And I think we'll get a sign off from VJ. This is where like Federation Starfleet realise this cloud, it's on a collision course. Wait, where? We're there. Of course. It's always coming here. Right, folks. I've got to get back to work and save the world from intergalactic clouds, from Klingons, from big strange beasties, from apocalypse, all sorts of things, big black holes. Anyway, so, folks, in the meantime, and this ever-swirling, vortexy, blaster-beamy in-between time, please keep it Celtic, and I am going to see you all with a video on prophecy later. Oh, the button didn't work.